2023 Mountlake Terrace Planning Commission meeting to order. Would you please take the roll?
Chair Batista?
Here.
Commissioner Betcher?
Present.
Commissioner Morgan?
Present.
Commissioner Stenson?
Present.
Commissioner Thompson?
Present.
Commissioners Landis and Vice Chair Harrison asked to be excused from tonight's meeting.
Would anybody like to make a motion to excuse Commissioner Harrison and Landis?
Motion to excuse them. Commissioner Harrison and Landis.
Thank you. I have a motion to excuse Commissioner Harrison and Commissioner Landis. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Hearing none, that motion carries.
I like the way you did it, though.
All right, so we'll move on to item number 3, approval of the August 28th, 2023 meeting minutes. Does anybody have any changes or corrections to those? I am not hearing or seeing any, so we'll go ahead and declare those accepted as presented. Item number 4, public comment. Does anybody have any public comment for any items that are not on the agenda tonight? Let the record show that there is no public in person here. Is there anyone online wishing to speak?
No one has appeared online and no virtual audience is seen.
All right, so we'll go ahead and move on to item number 5, review of zoning designation for property proposed for annexation, 4713 240th Street Southwest.
All right. Hello, everybody. My name is Sarah Pizzo. I'm an associate planner here at the City of Mountlake Terrace. All right, I have to scroll. Okay, and I'll be discussing the zoning designation proposal for 4713 240th Street Southwest. So the purpose of this presentation is to discuss the zoning that staff is recommending. This property is in the process of being annexed into the City of Mountlake Terrace, and so Planning Commission is required to make a recommendation to City Council regarding the zoning designation. All right, so we'll discuss some background information about the property and the request, go over the annexation process, present some information for you all to consider when thinking about what the zoning designation should be. I'll go over my request of Planning Commission and recommendation, next steps, and then there'll be an opportunity for a question and answer. All right. So some background information about 4713 240th Street Southwest. It's a property highlighted in faint yellow here, located north of 240th Street Southwest, east of 48th Avenue West. It's 0.43 acres and currently in unincorporated Snohomish County. It is an island, meaning that it's surrounded by the city of Mountlake Terrace jurisdiction. And the reason the property owners want to request to be part of the city is because they have an outdated septic system and would like to receive city sewer services. So we're about halfway through the annexation process. The property owners filed a notice of intent to start annexation proceedings with City Council. City Council held a public meeting to consider their request and allowed for a petition to be circulated by the property owners. That petition was submitted to the city, and staff sent it to the county, where it was received a certification of sufficiency. And then City Council held a public hearing on the petition and approved a resolution declaring a notice of intent with the Snohomish County Boundary Review Board. And now we're before the Planning Commission, currently at a work session, and we'll be coming back for a public hearing regarding the zoning of this property. And then City Council will hold a work session and another public hearing where they will adopt the ordinance to annex and the zoning ordinance, hopefully. And then the final ordinances will be going to the county, the Office of Financial Management at the state, and city departments. All right, so some information for you all to consider when you think about the zoning designation. The first is the comprehensive plan, the land use element. So this property is in our comprehensive plan with a land use designation of urban low residential. You can see it called out with the red circle and then zoomed in with this red square around it. So that is the property in question. So what does urban low residential mean? Our comprehensive plan, as you know, has general land use classifications, and the primary land use for urban low residential is single family residential. And this is for both all land in the city and within our intended areas of annexation. And this property is one of our intended areas of annexation. The properties surrounding this property are all zoned RS 8400. The minimum lot size for this zone is 8,400 square feet. The subject property is 18,730 square feet. So it does meet that minimum lot size requirement for RS 8400. SEPA is, our environmental review under SEPA is required for the zoning designation. Snohomish County, where the property is currently within zones that are single-family residential, are 8,400. The proposed city designation that staff is recommending is single household residential, 8,400. Staff feels that this property is not expected, or the zoning of this property is not expected to result in any direct or indirect environmental impacts, given it's going from single family at the county to single family in the city. So the request of Planning Commission at the public hearing will be to provide a recommendation to City Council regarding the zoning designation for this property, and staff recommends designating it as single household residential, RS 8400. This will result in a change to our zoning map, as you can see here. So currently the zoning map just doesn't have a Mountlake Terrace zoning designation for this property. But if this is recommended and adopted by council, it would be, the map would change to look like this, showing RS 8400 for this property. So our next steps will be reviewing the SEPA application, sending the application to the Department of Commerce with our proposed map amendment for review, and then we'll be back to Planning Commission mid-November, November 13th, for a public hearing regarding the zoning of this property. And then once we hear back from the Boundary Review Board with the county, City Council will hold a public hearing on the adoption of both the zoning designation and the annexation ordinances. And now we have time for discussion and questions. Thank you.
Does anybody have any questions? Not hearing or seeing any. It's pretty straightforward, just a little context. For decades, and I'm not exaggerating, decades, the city has been trying to incorporate the last few little pockets that are scattered throughout the city, even so much as staff every couple of years would actually go out and door knock, just to see, hey, you guys aren't annexed, do you want to get annexed? And, usually the answer was, no, thank you. But the city finally kind of took a backseat to the proactive approach, realizing that eventually all of their septic systems are going to fail, and they can't build a new one anymore. They have to go sewer, which means they have to incorporate. So the last two annexations that we've done were on emergency basis. Their system failed. They had to get sewer immediately, and so it was. They went into an agreement with the city saying the city will provide them sewer immediately, but under the idea that, no, now you have to annex as well, because as you can see, this process takes a while. So the city provided services, and then those parcels ended up being annexed, so it looks like we have another one. So, like I said, pretty straightforward. So, going once, going twice? Yeah, go ahead.
I should probably know this, but there's two designations, an urban low residential, and then also we have two residential zones that are like different for some reason, because there's like a very small difference between the minimum lot size. It's still functionally the same zoning designations before the 2019 comp plan, right?
So let's see. Urban low single-family residential includes RS 8400, RS 7200, and RS 4800. Those are the three single-family residential. Our comp plan doesn't break down urban low further, so the minimum lot size is what I felt I had to go off of, but with our comp plan update, I believe we are looking to be more specific so that our comp plan does more specifically address what the zoning should be, but our most recent adopted comp plan from 2019 doesn't break it down on that level, so that's why I looked at lot size and what properties surround this property to come up with that recommendation.
Fantastic, thanks. I think you should do it.
All right, anyone else? Great, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so I guess item number 6, photos of the planning commission. We've already done that, so we can skip that. Item number 7, director's report.
So the director is out today unexpectedly, so the director's report will not be occurring today.
Okay. Item number 8, miscellaneous business by call of planning commissioners. Anybody have any miscellaneous business?
I still owe you all typed up notes from the last meeting of the CPAG, but I will plan to get to you those this week and hope to get questions from everyone for the next CPAG meeting. I also have a request. The next two CPAG meetings are on October 25th and on November 1st, I believe. And unfortunately, I had long-standing travel plans on both those weeks. I plan to attend remotely, but I was wondering if it would be possible for Commissioner Morgan to attend in person as well, so that we can ensure that we have representation from the Planning Commission.
Yeah, for the 25th.
The following week, November 1st. Yeah, they're all Wednesday at 6 p.m.
Yeah, I'll actually be around for that. Yeah.
Great, thank you.
Cool. And just a reminder, you don't have to give like a detailed report to us anyway. typing up notes and stuff, that's staff's responsibility.
Okay.
To keep us updated on what's going on. So, I mean, it's great that you want to do it, but don't feel that you need to.
Okay, would anyone like a quick summary of what was discussed? All right. So a number of you are also at the meeting that was discussed on November, last Wednesday, where we had the joint meeting with the planning, or the comprehensive plan group and the council. The consultant presented their presentation that was very similar, and there was some discussion, particularly around introductions and then also outreach. And so CPAG is being tasked with doing community outreach to groups that they have contacts with in the community. So they're very much still at an information gathering stage, and I look forward to seeing sort of the results of that outreach, but we're still gathering quite a bit of data. So that's what's going on.
Great. Thank you. Anyone else?
Requesting to be excused from the November 13th meeting. Actually, the 13th and 27th, I believe, are both our next. The 2 in November will be gone.
All right. Since we're here, we got a second. Would anybody like to make a motion to excuse Commissioner Morgan?
Motion to excuse Commissioner Morgan for those, the 13th and the 26th, 2nd?
27.
27th.
All right, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Hearing none, that motion carries. Commissioner Morgan has an excused absence for November 13th and November 27th. Anyone else? All right, so not hearing or seeing anything, we'll go ahead and declare this meeting adjourned. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you.